adulthood. I wanted more at warp speed. And when the money arrived, I've got to admit, it was pretty exciting. My favorite thing to do with my dancing money was head to this one jazz spot in Philly with my friend, where they played live music and had the best food. I felt like such a grown-up balling with my earnings when I knew I should be saving them like I had planned to do in the first place. But it's hard when you're a teenager who had to struggle with money as a child, and now it's right there in your face. That urgency to leave my home wasn't as overpowering as it could have been, mainly because I didn't actually have to leave. The fun lasted for about a month and a half until depression set in. I started to feel stuck, like I was heading down a road to fucking up my life. I knew I didn't fit in from the first day I put them heels on, and eventually, the joke of it wore off. My conscience seeing other women struggling to make ends meet was one thing, and being separated from my purpose was another. Even the customers knew I didn't belong there. Nobody wants to watch the sad stripper dance. A few regulars told me I should leave once they heard me rap. They were in a local crew in New York City called the Rough Riders, and a bunch of them rode around the city on motorcycles. Some of them even made music. You really need to get the fuck up out of here, they'd tell me. I didn't know how. I also didn't know that a few years later, they'd be the same guys who'd have my back while I was on the road touring. In that moment, they were just the precious few who kept reminding me of the bigger picture. Then one night, it all came together. Musically, I was so focused on my own shit. But when it came to who was taking over the rap game, I lived under a rock. So when Mase came into the club, that meant nothing to me, even though everyone else was so excited. He was the new bad boy after all. I still didn't know what that meant. I mean, I knew who Puff Daddy was, but his new artist he just signed? Nope. One of the older girls came up to me and said, "You need to go dance for Mase. You're around his age." Ugh, fine. I walked up to him and said, "Hey, do you want to dance?" He probably saw the enthusiasm on my face. "What's your name?" he asked. I might have been Mystique or Mystery that week, some shit. He was like, "No, what's your real name?" My defense mode kicked in. "Why are you asking? I don't know you," I snapped. He was calm and he was polite. "Yo man, chill out," he said in his very distinctive Mase voice. "Go get a chair and come sit down." I was puzzled. What? Why? He kept cutting through my extraness with calmness. "Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do with your life?" he continued. "Why do you care?" was my answer. I couldn't stop being extra because even though it was one of the quietest nights at the Golden Lady, I didn't need a therapy session with my shirt off and a thong on. I started to see on his face that there was a sincerity to him. "I'm serious," he said. "What do you really want to do with your life?" Somehow he got through to me. "I want to rap," I said. "That's what I really want to do." He asked to hear me rap, and so I did. He smiled at me. "Let me hear something else," he added, and I gave him some more. He responded, "Okay, why don't you get dressed?" My extraness started brewing again as I asked him why. "Why don't you just come with me? We can ride around and even go to the studio." I knew he was famous, but I most definitely wasn't going to be some murder headline on the news, so I said to him, "Nah, you ain't taking me by myself. I have to take my friends with me." It wasn't like 1 or 2 girls either. It was like 4 chicks. We all danced at the club. Since the night was slow, they all left too to come with me. Mase didn't care. He said, "All right, cool. My peoples is with me. You ride in the car with me, and your girls can ride in the car with him." That was good enough for me, so I got dressed and got in the car with Mase. We spent the night playing beats and driving through the city, rapping in his car. It was the lyrical exercise that I needed in my life, and it was the most fun I'd had in New York City since I started dancing there. At one point, he even stopped at Puffy's house to pick up some money, and I just knew that I couldn't go back to my old life. If you really want this, I mean really want it, then you need to stop dancing, he said. Now. I already knew, but I needed to hear it from someone else. We rapped until the sun came up, and Mase told my girls and I, "You might as well just spend the night." He brought us to his sister Stacen's house to sleep, and by the time we woke up, he was gone. I never returned to the Golden Lady after that car ride with Mase. We didn't even exchange numbers, but something told me I would see him again. And I did, a few years later. I was at Puffy's restaurant, Justin's, in New York one night when Mase showed up. He saw me and ran up to me, grabbed me by the arm and pulled me to the side. "What are you doing in New York? What's up with you?" He sounded more concerned than curious. I was proud to answer those questions, no extraness needed. "I'm signed to the Rough Riders," I told him. He was so happy. Once I started recording my debut album, he came to so many of the sessions just to support me and watch it all go down. When I later found out Mase became a pastor, I was not the least bit shocked. I knew he could change people's lives with his words and messaging because he 100% changed mine. There's this thing about receiving messages from a higher power, where anyone can be tapped in to send a message, but you have to be open to receiving it. I'm just glad I was ready to hear it that night, and Mase was the right person to deliver it. Out of everything I learned in those 2 months of dancing, the thing that sticks out most is the repercussions that dancing can have on a woman's life and career. it follows you for a long time, sometimes forever. To this day, I'm still asked about it, and I'm like, are you serious? After a whole career, this is still what you're asking about? It's not like I'm ashamed of it. It just wasn't my path, and it wasn't for me. Once I was signed, though, I knew that I had to be the one to address it head on. It wasn't going to be that secret that someone would hold over me and then reveal to the world without my consent. So for my very first cover story with XXL magazine, I had to be the one to bring it up to the interviewer to take the power out of it. I really didn't want it to come bite me in my ass down the road, and I definitely didn't want anyone else to bring it up for me. I also had to prepare my mother for the big reveal when it went to print, because she still didn't even know I danced. She found out the day the magazine hit stands. I called her up and said, Mom, I need you to read this article and then call me so we can talk about it. After she read it, she called me back. I was surprised she wasn't mad at me. She understood why I'd done it. She knew I'd wanted to make money and was already suspicious when I was just randomly going back and forth from Philly to New York City. I knew something was going on at that time, she told me, because you were just different. You just didn't seem happy. She was right. These days when I hit the strip club, I'm much happier as a proud customer.